By the way, I watched that STD video from Robert and Kalyn have babies.
Yeah.
It was fucking I was like, oh my god, I hate this video so much. Like them walking around their apartment. She's like, so, follow up on that foundation that I got that I didn't think I liked. Well, I like it now. Yeah. And here's Robert. Hey, Robert. And he's like, I'm wearing the same shirt I wore the past 3 days. You guys probably recognize it, but like, who don't do that? Like, just awful. A 15-minute long video, and the first 12 to 13 minutes is nothing about this. I've got an STD, not clickbait or whatever. Then they finally get into it, and it was totally not a story like my story. His test came back positive for some HVTF or something like that. Something that apparently Native Americans, and you get it from birth from your mom. And I'm like, that's not an STD. That's not how STDs work. I mean, I guess you can pass along STDs to the baby, but generally the most common way that you get STDs is
from S.
Sex. Yeah. The V part. Then he basically retested and tested negative. And it had no impact on their IVF.
And that thing got 15,000 views.
Or something like that, yeah.
Right.
Like,
and so at the end of the day, it was in fact clickbait to get you to watch this thing.
I certainly feel like it was like... It wasn't even very educational. I don't even completely understand what the disease was. I'd never heard of before because it's not an STD.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so our rating
this
of
is a real bait and switch. Like, you're like... Not clickbait. Okay, now here's the story, and it was so crazy, but then it turned out fine. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
And then something about foundation and...
Right, yeah. And then they're doing dishes, and he put too much butter in the dinner that they were making. It was just like following them around the apartment. It was really almost unwatchable. I struggled through that.
So our final review of Kalyn and Robert is that it is unwatchable. And you know what they said when they watched our video? It is unwatchable. So with that, cue the welcome music.
Yay!
You are listening or watching to, if you can stand it, Robert and Kalyn Get Rich, a podcast about money and life, where my sister Kalyn Kimmel and I, Robert Kimmel, talk about money and life and whatever it is we feel like talking about, including STD clickbait videos, if it suits our mood. However, the one thing that we never talk about, Kalyn?
Financial advice. Never ever. Don't follow our advice at all.
Absolutely not.
And it's a good idea.
If we have a good idea, even a blind squirrel finds the nuts. A broken clock's right twice a day, but you just never know. So,
that's true.
But speaking of the blind squirrel finding the nuts, which actually that's probably a terrible intro to this next section, where we review our portfolio every week. Every week we make a new portfolio investment. All right. The Get Rich portfolio right now. Brace yourself.
I really hope that chicken soup for the soul is continued there.
Chicken soup for the... Well, listen, it's been an up and down time on the stock market the past few days. It's down about 1/3% today. Yeah. So chicken soup for the soul has come off its dominance, but it's still up 5% lifetime. Yeah. Novo Nordisk is our leader at 6%. TXMD up 4% lifetime.
It's not bad.
Reddit sort of continues to hang in there at negative 15%, but our real dog is Eagle Pharmaceuticals, minus 20%.
Yikes.
And I was back up 3% today, so they're having a bounce, but I was trying to figure out why the heck they might be so far down lately. The only thing that was in the news ticker was they announced a delinquency notice from NASDAQ for not filing something or other. So
go figure. Yeah.
And they got to play to their strengths. So our portfolio, unfortunately, is down 3% lifetime, which is not great.
Bummer.
Because I think last week it was like up 3%
right,
lifetime.
We were beating S&P, right? We're very close.
Yeah. No, we actually were beating it last week. I think when I click over here, we're going to see that that's not the case because S&P lifetime is up 1%. So we're really trailing.
Well, the Novo like that one, I would say I'm not passionate about. But the ones that we picked more for fun are the ones that are doing better than the, like, pick one out of Kalyn's portfolio that I got for free or whatever, like the TXMD and
It turns out that the ones that Robinhood gives you for free are not necessarily great investments.
Sell them immediately.
Somehow.
That's my best financial advice for the show. Whatever you get for free from Robinhood that's valued at $5, sell it that day, get your $5, move on to something else. Because that money's going away.
This is going to be a short. Right there is our short. The Kalyn's financial advice.
Right.
Sell whatever
the rock solid financial advice,
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed that I don't have more replies from Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Like, they basically just gave me 2 auto emails or whatever, and then nothing. Wait, I did get one. Sorry, I'm wrong. This is from Sherry Ann.
Wow.
Hi, Kalyn. Thank you for writing. I'm so sorry you haven't been able to find Mountain Dew Spark Zero Sugar in your local area. The Mountain Dew Raspberry Lemonade has been discontinued. There are many reasons why a product may be discontinued, but it's usually because there aren't enough consumers like you buying it. Sometimes stores stop carrying slower selling items to make room for other products. When this happens to many stores, it's difficult to continue making and selling the product. Whatever. We'll let the right teams know you're looking for it, and in the meantime, you can always use our product locator to see if you can find it. Yeah, where it's been sold in the next 30 days. It's possible that a larger local Pepsi bottler in your area may not carry all the products or whatever. Thanks again for connecting with us. We appreciate your continued loyalty to our brands. No mention at all about being sponsors. I don't know if they just missed that part of the email. I should write back, though, and be like, hey, Sherry Ann.
I think so.
Absolutely. Hey, Sherry Ann, I'm amazed that you don't want to ship me any of your dwindling stocks of Mountain Dew Raspberry Lemonade.
I'm very confused by that email because it was unclear to me. It wasn't like our first sentence, this is being discontinued, and then there was a bunch about this bottler or this might not carry it, and it's like, well, is it discontinued or not discontinued? I don't get it.
So it is discontinued. Yeah, I'm so sorry you haven't been able to find it in your local area. It's been discontinued. Blah, blah, blah. Then check out our product locator, which I've done, and have gone through all of the places that they said sell it, which they don't. All of them are sold out. They're like, you can get it at Target. And I'm like, I click through, and they're like, none available at any Target in the Houston market. Like, just as I suspected.
Maybe you should submit a complaint about the product locator. And
yeah, that's a good idea.
You might get some hay there.
That's a good idea, yeah. Be like, hey, your product locator sucks, but they've also said...
the reason I ask if it's, like, officially discontinued fully, I mean, then we need to start hoarding the stuff, right? And
well, that's what I had been doing. This is T-3. I have 2 left after this. Oh, no. Yeah, I know.
Well, we have 2 cases here, plus what's ever in the fridge, but I just drank one of the ones out of the fridge this morning. So next Walmart trip, or even sooner perhaps, we'll go clean them out, and we'll just buy every case available.
That's what I've done. At one point, I was at Kroger, and I saw that they had 7 cases, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get them all 7. And I didn't even have room for them in my apartment. I just had to keep them in my trunk. Like,
and now you're down to the last 3 cans of that stock, huh?
Right, because this was before I came to visit you guys, that it was starting to really dwindle. But what are you going to do?
Any updates on any other letters written to Chicken Soup for the Soul?
I did. I've been working on the wording for the CEO application. I don't want to come off too pompous, but maybe pompous is the right approach for I'm a CEO applicant, in case you're looking for a replacement.
Could be a really good thing to feed into ChatGPT, right? You know.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Well, I think in this case, the prompt you want to tell it is I need an uber generic, pompous, ostentatious CEO application letter to Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment.
Totally. I've got a couple of different email addresses, so maybe I should submit several. You know, I can just be like, this one's from Kales Satan. Kimmel. This one is from Kalyn Kimmel. When I'm
sure to tell ChatGPT, be sure to mention my project management experience in healthcare.
Very helpful. Very helpful.
That'd be huge.
I will absolutely do that. That's
something I was gonna show you pre-show, but I'll show it to you right now. Hold on to your seat here, because I'm gonna take you to the statistics from our show. All right, watch this. Boom.
31 downloads.
31 downloads. Look at that, huh?
Look out, yeah. We had a big day on the 26th
Sure did. And somehow we jumped from 1 or 2 downloads for every episode to just a huge download. You can see a lot of people listen to it at Monday at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah, naturally.
Wednesday, 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Sunday, 8 a.m. We got
it started, very early start to your day. You're like, let's get this date going at 3 a.m.
with some idiots talking about money. One more share. This one's kind of funny. Here's YouTube. So when you click on the dashboard, you get this little
Yay!
you get fireworks because your latest episode was ranked #1, so you get fireworks. Well, how many views? 0.
0 views.
So it's tied for 0 with these other 10.
They're all ours.
Yeah. So I don't know who's watching the shorts.
No one's watching any of it, but #1. That's awesome.
Currently a 10-way tie for #1.
Right.
With 0 views.
That's so funny.
I don't get it because you said you viewed them. When you're a man, YouTube, it'll give you these shorts, and inevitably it's some girl hanging out of her bathing suit. I mean,
right.
Of course it's making a liar out of me, but when I went on trending, then it tees up these shorts here.
Mm-hmm.
And these all look very tame, but it almost always is some girl hanging out of her bathing suit. I'm like, I do not need this. I'm a married man. I do not need just unnecessary
I don't even
temptation,
know if, do you put your gender into like when I log into YouTube, that's through Google, I guess. And so they have some demographic information for me there. My Instagram, once I started liking our videos, then if I go to explore, now I've started getting girls in bikinis. Like, I got 2 girls in bikinis asking to be my friend on Instagram. That doesn't happen. I'm like, what? I'm not looking at your content.
Yeah, that you get a lot. I'm sure, too, if I went to TikTok. Oh, the thing that TikTok decided I like is black women with really big booties.
Nice. Yeah. Got some junk in the trunk
I don't know about this.
Nice. That's too funny.
I don't know if it just figures out you're male because you watch sports clips and I watch guys playing blues guitar.
Yeah.
What it would do is I'd listen to classic rock or blues, and then the next thing you know in the shorts is a video of a chick playing a classic rock song, but she's dressed
and she has a huge ass.
No, she puts her huge ass. No, she'll have her boob on the guitar, and it's jiggling as she's playing. And I'm like, oh my god, please, I do not need this. I do not want this. YouTube, you've picked the wrong guy. So.
Right.
But I do. I do and I don't. I do want to eat the cookie. No, I don't. Anyway.
Well, yeah, and if you watch any of it, then it decides that you want to watch more, even if you don't like it or whatever. Like, for a little while, I was like, what's this red pill stuff all about, right? Like, which is basically men hating on women and saying how low value after we're, 25 and stuff like that. Really, fun stuff. I was just like, oh, let's listen to a little bit of it. And, forever, I just couldn't get anything besides, you women are the worst, and no man wants to marry you. Why would a man ever marry a woman who's not 22 and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, God, great. This is just what my self-esteem needs. I'm so glad I got a master's degree, because apparently I should have just gotten plastic surgery. Stop wasting my time on career and stuff. Just beauty, and that's it.
Just surface level beauty. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
golly.
Yeah,
brutal.
It's really fun. It's really fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I loved that my YouTube was just full of that shit. Just
just the ills of social media here, just destroying people's self-esteem.
Yeah. There was something that I saw about Facebook that basically was talking about how it would silo you to the most extreme thing that you could possibly be interested in with the fewest clicks. So just 2-3 clicks, you're going from kind of normal mainstream, I'm not really sure how I feel about this particular issue, to 3 clicks away from being a neo-Nazi, basically. That's really bad.
All right, my homework was looking at Greenie's dog dental shoes.
Yeah.
So
Greennies.
So I went to their website, of course, and they have all kinds of stuff, weight management. They have stuff for cats somehow. Down at the bottom, you go to About Us, and it's just, we love pets and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
So I thought what would be really helpful here is the chat bot. So I started, hi there, I'm your Greenie's virtual companion. Feel free to ask one of these questions or type your own. And I wrote, what company owns Greenie's? But they don't understand. I said, well, where are they headquarters? And they said, we're in Franklin, Tennessee. And all our products are manufactured in USA. And I said, how many people work at Greenies? And they said, I don't understand your question. You could type another question. What is Greenies revenue? Sorry, I don't understand your question. I am an investor, and interested new customers can contact our national distributor, Phillips Pet Food and Supplies, and you need to buy 8,000 pounds and have an electronic data interchange, and minimum order is $400.
So I guess if you say investor, they're like, oh, so you're a pet food store and you're going to be selling our product. And so here's what the minimum order is.
That's as well as the chatbot understood it. And I said, why do you advertise on Crackle so much? Sorry, they don't understand that question. Yeah. How do I invest in Greenies? Sorry, I don't understand that question. Yeah. So yes, I saw that it was Mars and affiliates. So I have that window up separately.
This is exciting.
Oh my God, is this
Mars
exciting.
Candy Bars owns Greenies dog treats. I'm going to be...
Mars Candy Bars.
Yes.
They do. Yes. They do. So
I love these.
Our brand, Mars does three things.
Yeah. What's their ethos? They're like, we're about the consumer.
They have 5 principles. Yes. Yeah. You want to hear their 5 principles? Quality, responsibility, mutuality, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Efficiency and freedom.
Freedom. That's what I'm about.
Freedom?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of wild. What is freedom?
What does freedom have to do with candy bars and dog food?
Well, it allows us to remain...
Performance lets us remain free. What?
Our independence. Okay, here's what it means. We're privately owned.
Oh. Okay.
So Mars is one of the largest privately owned companies in the world. They're in the $40s billions. They were started in 1911, making... Mars bars.
Right.
But they've, of course, expanded, and I've got to believe most of this is through acquisition. But obviously we know them through snacking, right? You have all these candies you've never heard of, and some of them you have. I mean, obviously Three Musketeers, Bounty,
Altoids.
Combos, Wrigley's. They acquired Wrigley's. Kind bars are made by Mars.
Yeah, M&M's.
Hubba Bubba. Yeah, M&M's. The M's is for Mars. Yeah, I knew that already. Yeah. Mars bars, of course. Yeah, I think M&M's has got it.
Man, how many candy bars are not owned by Mars bars?
I want to write all the Hershey's brands and all the Nestle brands. Well, let's see if you like any of these, because they have their separate division is food and nutrition. Again, I'm sure this is all out of freaking acquisition.
Yeah.
So most of these, I don't know these anywhere near as good as the snacks. Although Ben's Original, that is crown jewel. Used to be Uncle Ben's, right, bro?
Before we decided that was appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. I also know Kevin's. There's a lot of Kevin's sold at Costco. But anyway, the rest of these I couldn't tell you. There seems to be a theme around Asian food. Maybe it's easy to heat in the microwave. I don't know.
Yeah. I know Seeds of Change, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I feel like they make health food stuff.
Sounds right.
I've tried once before. Yeah.
I could click on it. No, I can't click on it. Nope. I will not tell you any more about Seeds of Change, says Mars website.
You know.
And then they have this big pet care division. Now, wait till you see these brands. I watched the videos about how they bring their pets to work at Mars and freaking love their dogs. And I want to get into loving your dog here in a little bit, but let's look at these brands first. So they have this whole pet health thing, right? So they own diagnostics and hospitals and whatever. But then they have their consumer type brands, right?
Right.
Caesar. Yeah. Here's Greenies, Iams, Pedigree.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Chiba. Dog DNA. We did that.
Oh, yeah.
Chiba and Whiskas. I mean.
Yeah.
These are real deal brands, basically. Royal Canin. Incredible in every deal.
I've seen those at the
detail.
That I think they're super fancy.
Is the Royal Canin as fancy as Greenies at a buck a treat?
I remember those being super specialized dog food. I don't know if they do treats or not, but you could buy the pug adult food. Not for any other small dogs, only for pugs. Here's your I'm a Rottweiler owner, and my Rottweiler is 2 years old. Royal Canine makes that Just super specialized, overpriced. I mean, really expensive. Sure to make your dog live like 6 months longer or something like that, I guess. But
this is probably one of those 5 core values, right? Is that we sell really expensive stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Iams is really, and I think Iams can be pretty cheap, can't it? I mean, I know it can be expensive, like some of their specialized stuff, but I thought they made like a bunch of different.
You are talking to the wrong man here.
Yeah,
but,
no, I know I know you're passionate about dog food and pets in general. But
I was just thinking about. I'm imagining the marketing meeting at Greenies where somebody walks in. I mean, the balls on this guy to be like, we are going to charge $1 a treat. People are going to go to Walmart or Target and buy a bag of 30 treats, a 1 month supply, and they are going to pay $29.95.
Yeah.
Dear God. And people do, and it's huge.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. It's surprising. How much money people can spend on their pets is astonishing. I know Cesar Millan had said that he hopes that when he dies, he's reincarnated as an American dog because they're so well cared for and spoiled.
There are whole parts of this economy that if you were reliant on my spending patterns would absolutely dissolve. The whole Kardashian thing and pop music and pet supplies. If you talked me into buying a pet and I was in charge of feeding them, they're going to get plain Jane dog food. And you can feed a dog for a year for the price of a vet visit, you know? I mean...
Yeah,
and that's like your run-of-the-mill shots and a test and a da-da-da. You're paying, you're in the upper hundreds, if not thousands. And then you have a condition or something or a complication. And my God, people are just spending thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
We used to go from like shooting the dog in the backyard. And then we moved to euthanizing the dog, and now we've moved to cost is no object, save this dog's life, you know?
Right.
It's like...
Yeah, I have multiple friends who have had dogs who have had cancer, and they've spent $15,000 plus on treating this dog, and I'm like, man, I understand to a degree, right? Because I was very attached to Ash, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, are you doing this for you or for this animal? Because chemo is very uncomfortable, and if your dog is grown, if it's an 8-year-old dog plus, they're not going to live all that long. They're just not. And so is this the kind thing to do? And also, aren't you going to regret that $20,000?
We have a dog and 2 cats. I wish ill on no animal. I feel bad. I killed an ant the other day and it was outside. And I'm like, why did I do that? I'm a terrible person. I wish ill on no animal. Yeah, well, listen, without reason. If the ant's in the house... ant's gonna die, okay, but the ant's outside. I'm not gonna kill
You're not
a living
looking to
being.
step on ants, and
yeah. What if that's that guy reincarnated and he hasn't made it to a dog yet? You know,
right?
So you got to think of these things. But I wish no ill on any living creature that's outside of my house or the pets that live inside the house, right? But I am not gonna spend bucket loads of money. At the end of the day, in my world, it is an animal. It's just one of these things. I've never registered even the degree of love and affection that you had for Ash.
Yeah.
Mine is like, yeah, these pets are nice enough. I like these pets okay. Yeah, that's the level that I'm at and always have been with every pet I've been around, you know?
Yeah.
And especially if it's somebody else's pet. Your pet's great, but I do not need this pet climbing on me or whatever. So.
Right. Yeah. I was very draconian when I was raising Ash about certain things, like going to the bathroom has to be outside. He learned this very quickly because I was like, I will absolutely rub your face and shit 100% because I don't want that in my house. Full stop. That's how that is. And he got to be very well trained. And so anyone who's like, I don't want to be mean, I'm like, no, you need to learn how to have some limitations with your animal. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say in our household too, the people who do love the pets, they don't want to take care of the pets. So I end up doing a lot of taking care of the pets, and then I get grumpy, and then we start shouting at each other. Somebody will tee up, let's just get rid of the pets. And I'm like, no, you're not getting rid of the pets. I'm the one defending them here. First of all, we took on this obligation to take care of this pet. Now, if it's a dog that is biting children or whatever, now we are taking this pet back. Mm-hmm. But perfectly well-behaved dog like we have and 2 perfectly well-behaved cats. You signed up for this. We're doing it. I don't think that's fair to these animals either to rehome them.
Right.
And I'm the guy who's like, I don't care about pets.
I'm with you. Depending on my housing situation, I was like, Ash can stay at mom and dad's place more than at my house. I love him, but also I was in a studio apartment and it's just too small for me and a dog. Like my next door neighbor, meanwhile, had a dog and 2 cats or whatever in the same apartment. But I was like, me and Ash can't live here together. It just can't work. So I'm just as bad as the kids or whoever it is in the mystery people in your house who love pets.
Those mystery people. First of all, the dog I was consulted on was like, do you think we should get a dog? No. Okay, Dad, we got a dog. The cat's I wasn't even asked. I showed up one day and we have cats.
I honestly could not believe it when you guys got cats. Talking to Kiara, I was like, there's not a chance that you're going to get cats. Because cats, like, scratch up furniture, they shed, blah, 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 blah. Just things that I know that Andrea does not particularly love. Furniture getting ruined and hair being everywhere and cats throwing up and stuff like that. None of these are Andrea's top 5 things in this world.
Yeah, and that they didn't even cross her mind. Like, the first thing I think of when I think of pets is them pooping and peeing and throwing up in your house. Right?
Yeah. And cats, like, tearing up furniture. They claw on things.
Yeah, and you are not the only one. Everybody who talks to Andrea is like, you're the last person on earth we would expect to have pets for this very reason. You don't even like having children around, leaving stuff on the counter, much less an animal that's going to leave bodily fluids.
The cat's like walking across the kitchen countertop.
But so we got these dogs and these cats over my objections or without even informing me. And then I bear a share of responsibility for taking care of them, because then people stop taking care of them. And I don't mind doing that and pitching in. But then when people are like, well, it's your turn. And I'm like, my turn? I didn't even want these animals.
I said no to the dog. So
what?
I should have.
I'm a chill guy most of the time, but one of the times I just absolutely lost my shit was one of these, it's your turn. I'm like, listen to me. Everything I do for these animals, I do as a favor to you, a favor. Right. I don't mind it. If you're away, you're out of town. If you have softball practice, whatever it is, I can pitch in. Mm-hmm. But to say it's my turn to get up out of bed and walk a dog, I'm not on board with this.
Yeah, right.
I'll probably edit out a bunch of this personal stuff because I don't know if the 8 people in Sri Lanka want to hear about it. But
Thirsty Nuts, or what's his name? Funky Nuts.
Lucky Nuts. I'll ping him and I'll be like, hey, man, do you want to hear about my spending habits on pet food?
Do you want us to talk smack about the kids and our friends and stuff?
So I got real worried when I learned that Greenies was owned by Mars, this private company. I was like, oh, heck, we're not going to have any investment opportunities, right? So what do we do? I'm rolling around in my head. Do we look at Nestle and Hershey? And then I got a gift from the stock market gods. I was looking at various tickers that I am a party to. And then when you go to the search bar on Yahoo Finance, these things pop up, the big movers of the day.
Right.
And yesterday, what do you know? One of the symbols up here was CHWY. CHWY. Chewy.
Oh.
Chewy popped 27% yesterday. Oh. I'll go to the 5-day chart.
Whoa.
Chewy went from 17-ish to 21 and change. And so it was up. And I'm like, what is the story with Chewy?
Yeah.
So they had their earnings announcement and they beat on earnings and they beat on revenue and all that. Because on Wall Street, the saying is there's no good or bad. It's just above expectations or below expectations. And that's exactly what happened here, is above expectations. Then I had a drive probably to take one of these pets to the vet. And I'm like, okay, let's find a podcast where they're talking about Chewy. I figured if it's one of the big mover stocks, somebody's talking about it. And so I was listening to the Fortune Leadership Next podcast, which is put on by Fortune Magazine. And their episode from April 16th, so not very long ago, was the CEO of Chewy. And the CEO of Chewy is this Indian guy, Sumit Singh. And he's ex-Amazon, ex-Hewlett-Packard, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to like this guy. And darn it if he didn't win me over.
Yeah.
And he's basically, it's a little bit of Tony Hsieh-ish, and they held up Disney as an analogy. He was saying that if they learn your dog died, they send you flowers, right? They have a whole network of artists that they commission to make hand-drawn pictures of your pet, and then they send it randomly. So he's calling them these delighter moments that they want to create. And I remember Tony Hsieh and Zappos was a little bit like that. And he said this line on the Fortune Next podcast. He said, I send a customer a picture of their pet, I've got a customer for life. And I 100% believe that.
Absolutely.
But the history of Chewy, I didn't know this. Chewy was a spin-off of PetSmart, right? So PetSmart had their online division, and I'm sure they still have an online division, no doubt, but they also spun off this business. And it's kind of funny because pets.com was the poster child of the late 90s tech bubble. That was the thing that everybody holds up as the thing that went too far. But these guys have figured it out. I mean, they sell $11 billion worth of pet stuff.
Yeah.
They have net income, of 39 million.
Right. So
$40 million. And for a long time, I think they weren't profitable.
Right.
But what is that? That's what 1% of 10 billion is 100 million. So they're at 0.4% profit margin, depending on which measure of profit you use, which is not real amazing.
Wonder what the past couple of years, like if you look at the 2022 numbers, that 40, like the negative 75,000.
I think it's volume, honestly. I mean, the biggest thing I see is really solid growth over the past 3 years, right? And you've got a lot more, I don't know what these are percent-wise, gross profit over the past 4 years, but it kind of looks about the same. Oh, EBITDA is 160. All right, so they got a 16.
My child.
Yeah, they got a 1.6% EBITDA, so that's pretty solid.
But prior years, like 1.6 in 2022 was like negative 17, right?
Yeah. Well, here's what I think. I think it's probably mostly volume, and they probably are charging more for their stuff, right, and getting better margin. But I think it's like you've already got the warehouse, right? You're paying the rent, you're paying the heat, you're paying the forklift drivers. You cram twice as much stuff through the warehouse. Many of those costs are going to stay the same, right? The fixed cost piece. So I think they're just increasingly covering their fixed costs. I'm guessing that's what's going on.
Yeah.
The CEO also said they were expanding into pet health, and they now have 4 veterinary clinics, and they have a whole bunch of tools to support. If you're a vet, I think these are probably tiny portions of their business, but something that's growing. Yeah. I also read the earnings call transcript, and they were like 80% of their business is on subscription. I mean, it's awesome, 77%. And in fact, the non-subscription business is shrinking. Right. I mean, I got to hand it to these guys making any profit at all when you're shipping kitty litter across the United States or shipping dog food. I mean, there just can't be that much margin in that. But I will say, I got a couple flip sides. So back to our 5-day chart. Yeah. First of all, PE ratio, they're trading at 115, almost 116 times earnings, which is pretty crazy. The S&P average is like 24. So they're 4 to 5 times higher than the average. Now, could they grow into that? You'd have to have EBITDA that's 4 times higher. So they'd have to get to, what? 7 or 800 million of EBITDA. So they could grow into it. Here's the longer term story. Let's back this out. All right. There's the 3-month picture. We just had this spike because we did well. 6 months. Had this old spike back here. 1 year. I mean, that was the 6-month spike. Here's 1 year is where half the stock price we used to be. And then this is the 5-year. So this is 2021, 22, right? So what happened during this time?
Oh, COVID.
So people got home. They started living with their pets, and now their lovely pets all need.
People are quarantining. Yeah.
You're like, I gotta have toys, and my pet needs a better dog bed, and a fish needs a better fish tank.
Grocery store, so I don't want to so I'll just have Chewy deliver the dog food instead of me having to I mean, if I had to buy one of those big bags of dog food today, the big bag is where it's at. But lugging that shit around, I would absolutely pay Chewy a small amount more to just have that at my door versus me having to deal with a big bag of dog food. I think it's well worth it. I say that, but I never once ordered dog food, so I don't know if I practice what I preach.
Yeah, but in this day and age, everything comes to our door. I'll tell you. One thing they got to figure out, I think, so at Chewy's, you get your bag of dog food in a box, right? One big box, one big bag of dog food in the box. I'm like, man, and of course the box goes straight out to the trash, recycling, right? But something like 17% of stuff in your recycle bin actually gets recycled.
Right.
It's
Right, and like everything should be completely washed and whatever, which I don't wash out all of my Mountain Dew Spark Zero cans before I recycle them.
referring to the delicious and refreshing taste of a Mountain Dew Spark Zero.
I am. So delightful. And only a small amount of rinsing before this can is completely recyclable.
And don't tell me there's only 0 calories in that.
There are 0 calories. That's right. That's what the
Amazing.
0 sugar do. Sometimes the 0 sugar for Mountain Dew means 5 calories or something, but not this one.
Right.
Not this delightful drink.
This episode brought to you by Mountain Dew Spark Zero.
Every episode.
All rights reserved. Yeah.
Great. Anyway.
But I feel like Chewy's got to figure out this whole box thing. I mean, that's one of the reasons I hesitate to invest in Chewy is because of their damn boxes. But
I think that if they're competitive with Amazon on price point, because Amazon also has like a subscription option for goods. They always seem to offer it to me on like the weirdest things, like I buy an LED mask and they're like, do you want to have this regularly delivered to you? And I'm like, what? I mean, first of all, this should last for a long, anyway. But yeah, so if Amazon will also deliver my dog food and all my dog stuff on subscription at a discounted rate, why I choose Chewy because they might send me a portrait of my dog. Like that is cute. And they may have more, Amazon has fucking everything, it seems like. So I don't think that it's possible Chewy has better selection. Maybe you can't get the prescription medication from Amazon, but like, why would you choose Chewy over Amazon if you're a subscription person for your pet supplies? I don't know.
They must be cost competitive or at least close. Definitely the CEO is touting the one-on-one experience. Right. He was saying they write handwritten notes, and when you call in, they solve your problem. And it was a very much like the Tony Hsieh Zappos thing.
Yeah,
which so none of that applies to Amazon at all. They do not give a shit. But
right.
I think what we should do is we should write a letter to Amazon and say, could you please draw a picture of my dog?
I'll get on the chatbot and be like, hey, so 5 to 10 years ago, I ordered lots of dog things from you. Could you please provide me with a drawing of my dog who's dead? He was a pug. See how you do.
I love that. See, Chewy, they probably would do it, and that wouldn't be funny, but Amazon chatbot.
Yeah. Well, so, petsupply.com or whatever that I had previously ordered Ash's regular medicine from, and they continued to email me, and I did write them back at one point, and I was like, my dog died, please stop sending me emails, and they did write back immediately a very thoughtful email, and have removed me from a list. It was not Chewy, but I will say that Amazon will continue to promote like, oh, we see that you used to like pug-sized costumes. Still want those? I'm like, no, I can't get you to stop recommending them either.
Amazon, the house of sadness, huh?
They're like, whatever you have ever been into, that's what you're still into. Yeah. So you don't know if you would invest in Chewy.
I like the ethos, and I like what I'm hearing from the CEO. I don't like the price.
To your point earlier about you not necessarily being a representative sample of how people would... I mean, and I know I'm not either, for sure. Yeah. I drive a 2011 Altima, so when we talk cars, I'm totally not the person. But people definitely don't mind spending a lot of money on their pets, and all that kind of stuff really might make a huge difference for that market.
The CEO talked about the humanization of pets, right? The dogs used to sleep on the back porch. Now they sleep in your bed,
Right. When was the last time you knew somebody who had an outdoor dog that was just like a dog that's outside always? I can't think of anyone. It'd be a pit bull owner. They're chained up to a stake, sleep in the doghouse or whatever. I don't know anyone who does that.
Yeah, the doghouse used to be a thing, right? Yeah, and that chained up pit bull, that's straight out of the Tom and Jerry cartoon, which we know is a bygone era.
Right.
You and I grew up with an indoor-outdoor cat, right? And somehow that cat would come home even when called, which is wild to me. We're terrified of letting these cats out, and they never have been outside except to go to the vet. And everybody's worried that they get lost and never find their way home. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
I think they'd be okay. Like, as long as, like, baby steps or whatever. But
I think they totally would. I think they would come right back.
Yeah,
that
sorry.
saying curiosity killed the cat, that 100% applies to our cats. You open a closet door, they will go diving into that closet, and then you'll not know they're in there. You'll close the door, and hours later, somebody will find them in the closet. Yeah. I'm like, how did this Darwinian genetic trait survive? The gene that is like I'm going to go dive into this space that I have no idea what's behind. There could be a wolf in there and eat me, but cats are just yep, I'm in.
Let's roll the dice. Let's see. Might be fun.
I don't know. Food in there? I don't know. But somehow Cody got the genes where you leave empty pizza boxes in the fridge, so not every gene is aligned for survival, I guess. Yeah. So I'm hearing we're putting a bet on Chewy. Then we'll make $1,000.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean,
roll the dice. Why not?
Yesterday or day before, it seems like, but
2 days ago, but not back in 2021. That would have been
no.
That would have been brutal.
That would have been devastating. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need the next pandemic, and Chewy will skyrocket again.
All right, we're rooting for a pandemic all of a sudden on the Get Rich podcast.
I miss quarantine.
That way I can spend more money on my dog beds.
That's right, yeah.
The next segment of our show is called What the Hell is in Kalyn's Portfolio?
Today's big winner is the CCJ. That's done.
CCJ. What the hell is CCJ?
Yeah, Cameco Corpcom.
Cameco. I know Cameco.
What is Cameco?
They are a mining company.
Oh. Engaging in providing uranium fuel to generate clean, reliable baseload electricity around the globe.
That's why I know Cameco. I have quite a position, as you know, in uranium, and the uranium ETF includes Cameco. They're not the biggest in the world, but I think they're the biggest in North America. So look at the day they're having. Whew.
Yeah.
Up 2.2%.
Right.
I look at their 1 year chart. Is that a thing of beauty or what?
It is. Yeah, my total percentage gain is 172% with them. I don't know how I found this stock for sure.
You bought in at like teens, 200% up.
$20 it looks like is what I paid.
Yeah, $20
on average. Yeah, I guess. And
what timing? 55. I mean, that was like you probably bought them in 21 or something when you should have been investing in Chewy, not investing, shorting Chewy.
I can't remember if we kept the uranium stuff like that you talked about.
The Get Rich portfolio does not include a uranium position. So next episode, we could take a good hard look at Cameco. Just curiosity, you have any memory of why you might have invested in Cameco? This was not a free stock that Robinhood gave you.
No.
4 years ago.
No. So, I mean, I don't remember exactly why I would have gotten. I mean, back when I read American Prometheus, which is, of course, the Oppenheimer book, that got me very interested in uranium in lots of things, including atomic bombs, of course. But that could have been related.
It doesn't fit your. I love it. I love this.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's do Cameco because then we can talk uranium.
All right.
I don't know what these stocks are either, but I also own stock in T and F. Well, that's Ford. We know that's Ford, but I also have T.
Maybe we could.
J and V.
I was going to say, maybe we could get all the single-letter stocks. That would
be fun.
Just go through the alphabet. Okay, what stock is A?
You can start doing a stock, search A, stock A.
And then we'll go to AA, and then we'll go to AB.
AA is American Airlines. I'm pretty sure I own that one.
I think that's AALS or something, and they just took a beating yesterday.
A is Agilent Technologies.
There you go. AAL is American Airlines Group, and they're down 1% today. And yesterday or the day before, they just took a.
I do own AA. What is AA? Alcoa. Yeah, Alcoa Corpcom. That I own also.
Is AA?
AA, yeah. How's that done?
So you own them all.
Yeah, I do. Total gain 97%.
Wow.
That one.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. AAPL is Apple. You know who's up in a pretty big way? 4.33% today.
DDD.
You got it. That's the one.
Yes.
Today's gain, $3 gained. Last price, $3.66. So.
It's time to sell that son of a bitch.
Hell no, I gotta wait till we get up to like $38 again. That's what I bought at.
Oh, have you ever heard of the term cup and handle?
No.
So, all right. So, you know, some investors are technical investors. They're chartists, right? They look at a chart and supposedly it's a very bullish signal.
You'll have to explain to me the charts that are like with the top and
candlestick
bottom,
charts.
Like, yeah, I don't really get what it's telling me. So, like, I don't know what it means. So.
Right. And I don't know if I know all the things that I know.
You don't know if you know all the things you know.
Well, I don't. Yeah. There are known knowns and there are unknown knowns. I was trying to get the candlestick chart. Anyway.
Yeah, go to Mountain. That's
this one.
Like,
this is what you're talking about with the.
Right, yeah.
You're like, what am I looking at
like,
here?
It just made it like a fatter line, right? Like it's still the same shape, right? Just thicker, different colors. Like, I mean,
this
so,
box and these lines
like,
and boxes.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what this is telling me about, like, like what is, you know?
Yeah.
Why do we have
we can add in all the technicals and do Bollinger Bands. I mean, look at that. Now that's a chart right there.
Right, yeah, totally. This looks like a hurricane chart, like when they're like, this is where the hurricane's gonna go. Like okay.
I think it is kind of like that. The price of this stock is going to end up somewhere between here and here.
And yeah, so somewhere between 10 times as much as we,
invested and 1/10 of what we invested.
Like, and maybe we'll go to nothing. Yeah, so is this telling me there's just a lot of variability in the stock price that we could see right now?
Yeah. I know a lot of people look at the moving average. This, like, the red line is the 50-day moving average. We're above the 50-day. That's supposed to be good. If it falls below, that's supposed to be bad. And then,
oh my goodness.
The long-term moving average is usually the 200-day moving average. And then when the 50-day crosses the 200-day, that's like a real big deal. 200-day is blue and 50-day is red. So look, the 50-day just crossed the 200-day.
Oh my God.
Bye. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. There's a lot of options on my what kinds of charts I can see. I'm like, what is
right? Right, that's just the type of chart. That doesn't even.
Right, I know. I can do candle, hollow candle, line, mountain, colored mountain, Heiken Ashi bar, colored bar. I don't know. Let's just go back to mountain. I think that's what I was on. Studies. What? Studies. Yeah, they're giving me too much credit. Like, you guys are smarter than most people. I'm like, not
You're
me.
like, I don't even know what my...
Like, how do I order something? I just want to put in the total amount of money I want to spend, not like the number of shares. Don't make me calculate it.
And then I got 5 ways I can order it. Buy this thing.
Yeah, 5 minimum. It looks like a function. What is it called when you have the exclamation point at the end? Like 5 exclamation point. Factorial or something?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
anyway.
Right, factorial.
Yeah.
Wow, pulling that one out.
Too dumb to remember, but yeah. That's how many options I have on this platform. It's too many.
So in case you've listened through this talk on technical investing and you're thinking, these 2 people have this thing figured out. I should invest in whatever they talk about. I'm telling you, you should set those feelings aside.
Don't do that.
This is not investment advice. And Kalyn, with that, I think we should wrap up this episode. Let's cue the outro music. As we said, this is not investment advice, but please listen, follow, share, rate us, send us a review. We promise we will read the first review on air. If you'd like to communicate with us, you can email us at robertandkalyngetrich. Kalyn is spelled Kalyn, and that's at gmail.com. Send us your thoughts, your questions. If you want investment advice, send that to somebody else. But send us guest recommendations and other things you would like us to talk about. Other brands of soda whose cans are even more recyclable than Mountain Dew Spark Zero.
teach us stuff if you want to school us on what these charts all mean.
Exactly. If you want to be our charting expert, you can come on, but remember, between being smart and being funny, we want the guy who's funny. So
yeah.
This has been a production of Get Rich Media. I just made that up. I am Robert Kimmel, your host, and this is Kalyn Kimmel. We will see you next week.
Yeah.